And is it flashing? The light flashing? Okay, this is Jeff Walker, and I'm with Martin Howey, who recently did a spectacularly successful product launch. And we're in a nice, quiet conference room. We escaped the hordes. We're at Mike Filsame's event, and we escaped the hordes out in the lobby, and we ducked into this conference room. I hope we don't get booted out. But Martin, you did a very unique launch, very unusual launch. You pulled in a lot of offline elements. You sold a high price, you just gave me some of these details as a high price. So it was $20,000 coaching program.
Yes.
And I mean, this isn't a brand new, I mean, you've been doing coaching, business coaching for a long time. Lots of different programs. With this one, I guess some of the elements that were unique, well, tell us about your audience that you were going after.
We were looking for an audience that had a real problem. They had a hurt, they had a pain that they were trying to solve. And so once we identified that pain in that audience, then we were able to target on that pain and then try to find a way to help relieve that pain for them so they could use the experience that they have, the business experience that they have, to convert that into a business of their own.
And these weren't like, get rich quick folks. These are corporate, high-end, it's a high-end sale, corporate people who are used to making, big-time decisions.
Yes, most of these people were probably making in the neighborhood of anywhere between $100,000 and $150,000, maybe $200,000.
Okay. And so you did not have a list with this launch.
Did not have a list. We had to purchase a list, an offline list.
So you purchased an offline list. So in this day and age, you can still purchase lists and send direct mail to people. So you sent a series of postcards. Was it all postcards? Or?
We started off with a letter. The first thing we did was send a letter. And that letter directed the people to a website.
Okay.
And on that website, there was a squeeze page. If they opted in at the squeeze page, we removed them from the direct mail sequence. Okay. If they didn't opt in to the website, then we sent them out a series of 3 more postcards, directing them back to that squeeze page. If they opted in at the squeeze page, then and did not buy, that squeeze page directed them to a website. If they did not buy, then we put them on an email sequence. If they did buy, then we removed them from all future contact.
Okay. So, I mean, in product launch formula, one of the big things I focus on is always having sequences. And so you have both an offline sequence and via direct mail and an online sequence once they opted in via email.
That's right.
And so does direct mail work with product launch formula or with a launch?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you're doing offline, a lot of times the people offline are not quite as savvy as the people are. I don't mean savvy, I mean savvy to the things that we as online marketers are aware of.
Right.
And so it's a different market out there, and they're a little bit more responsive sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, obviously these are very savvy people. They make a lot of money. They're in high-powered positions. But they just haven't seen a launch before.
They're not wise to the ways of the internet market.
Right. And so, to get to the punchline, to let people know exactly what we're talking about, you had a $20,000 program, and how many spots did you have available?
We wanted to sell 100.
Okay, and you sold all 100
in 17 days.
In 17 days. And for the math challenged out there, that is $2 million, right?
$2 million, and we still have another 36 or 38 on the waiting list to come in, but we can't take them until we finish training the people that we have and getting them up to speed.
Okay, so, so $2 million launch, and you got another $720,000 in revenue just waiting once you get through this group of people.
And we still can go back to the list and do another launch to that list.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, you started with a list of 5,000 people. You emailed them. So, I mean, the amount that you spent on direct mail is sounds to me like probably $20,000 or something.
It was less than $20,000.
Okay.
It was more like probably around $10,000 or $12,000.
Okay, $10,000 or $12,000. So, I mean, obviously, anyone would love to invest $10,000 or $12,000 and do $2 million in sales. Now, obviously, you're going to have some costs fulfilling this product. You're going to have to work really hard. When you make a few $1,000,000, you can't get away from having to do some work.
Well, we put people through a 5-day, very intensive training program and we give them all the materials, all the manuals. They walk out of there with 32 pounds of manuals, 2,500 printed pages, and they have CDs and all the information they need to be successful in their business.
Yeah.
So we do a tremendous amount of work in the training, and then we have follow-up support that we do as well.
Yeah.
Additional teleconferences and training programs that we use
Yeah.
for them.
So, I mean, you're going to be working hard and you got some costs, but in terms of a ROI on your marketing, I mean, it's pretty spectacular.
It is.
It's pretty, so, you know, and obviously, you know, you built in the anticipation into this whole thing. You had a scarcity in terms of there's only 100 available. And, I mean, it's the best scarcity is when it makes sense. In this case, you know, you're working with them individually. Obviously, you can't clone yourself. So, you know, scarcity makes sense. So, I mean, it sounds like it's just a great offer and a great product launch in a corporate market. You know, a lot of people think this doesn't work in a corporate market. They think it doesn't work offline. They think you need a list ahead of time, and you just blew all of those.
Well, people in the corporate market are just like you and I, Jeff. They still eat the same food. They still dress the same way. They still think the same thing. They still buy the same kinds of things that we buy.
Yep.
You just have to approach them really in the same way, but do it offline. Because if you don't have a way to contact them via email or via online methods, then you have to go offline.
Yep.
But they'll still respond.
Yep. Excellent. Well, congratulations on a wonderful launch. And, you know, I'm looking forward to when you do your relaunch with those, you know, the next group. It sounds like you're going to probably, you got the 32 already, and you're probably going to sell out the 100 right away, I'm guessing.
I think we probably will.
Yeah, so congratulations. It's wonderful to hear.
Thank you very much.